Today I'm going to cover first part of vectors. Um, and we're going to know what can you do with vectors. Basically, think of these vectors as a directional movement. So this is an example of vector. This is an example of another vector. That's an example of all. These are all vectors. As you see, it has that starting point, and then the arrow gives them, the directional. And the whole idea of vectors is finding the magnitude. And in physics class, um, you use vectors to figure out the speed, length, speed of certain object or force and things like that. So let's call this u. Let's call this v. What's u plus v? It's very simple. I take u, which is this, copy. Just make sure everything is correct. Then I take v, copy, paste it. So my final answer will be, this is the vector. This is u plus v. Okay. Now, what about u minus v? It'll be very simple. So your u is, that's u. Minus v means is if v going this direction, minus v would be going opposite direction of the same way. So it's going to go to that way. And your final answer would be right over here. U minus v. Now, another part, what would be 2v then? 2v would be, here's 1v, 2v. Those are all, they're very simple. Now, in an xy plane, if I say this is a vector, the way I write vectors is the weird looking bracket 2 comma 3. Think about this as a xy point, but this gives you the x movement, and the 3 gives you the y movement. Okay. Another way of, so basic term for vectors, we write it as a comma b, or you could write it as a plus ai plus bj, where a represent the horizontal movement, b represent the vertical movement. And we're gonna come back and do, because you have a lot of assignments to do, so I'm a little bit slowing down. And then we're gonna come back and look at it to unit vector. And then we're gonna learn how to do add and subtract, add or subtract, or multiply vectors. We're not gonna do the force problem at all. That's a directional problem. We're not gonna do that. And then we're gonna have our third exam. I'll provide you the third exam, and followed by your final exam. All right, I'll see you guys next.